Hello and welcome to today's live broadcast. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. Today, we're going to be talking about why it is experts make intermittent fasting. Oops, hold on a second. Okay, we're good. Um, why experts are making intermittent fasting so complicated. So, if you are jumping on live with us, I always ask that you do me a favor and leave me a comment in the comment section. That way, I know you are here. If you're a graduate, if you could let me know when you took class and when you graduated. Oh, my thing said I'm not live. Let me know if we're live. Can you guys leave me a comment in the comment section? It looks like there's some connection issues, and I don't want to be talking if no one can hear me. New here. Awesome, Michelle. So good to have you with us. If it looks like you guys are here. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to start over because it looks like there was some connectivity issues with both Facebook and YouTube. So if you're jumping on from Facebook, if you could leave me a comment in the comment section, that way I'll know that you're here and you can hear things also. Let me get all this ugliness out of my screen here for you guys. I don't know why everything feels so unprepared today, but I'm giving you guys a chance to jump on live, so that's a good thing. Okay, so let's get started officially. So today we are going to be talking about why it is intermittent fasting has become so confusing and so complicated, and why experts are doing that. And I have to also say that I am an expert also, so I'm going to share with you my thoughts on intermittent fasting as well. So if you are new, I apologize for the rough start. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online course and community, The Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. And here we talk about all things for us as women as we're going through this aging season, but primarily we talk about intermittent fasting and the benefits that it provides for us. If you haven't yet done so, please take a second to hit that subscribe button and make sure that you've hit that follow button on Facebook. You get there by tapping those three little dots, and then make sure you're set up to get reminders. I do my best to remind you guys as well. Okay, so let's do this. Why is intermittent fasting so complicated, and why are experts making this a complicated thing for us, especially for us women? And I believe that the reason it's become so confusing and so complicated is because being an expert in intermittent fasting is basically just someone who's doing a lot of research and or has a lot of experience, right? There's no official training for being an intermittent fasting expert. You just have to understand how the body's chemistry works, how hormones work, how food affects us as human beings, and the benefits of what fasting provides. And then me being an expert, we take our personal experience and we share it to help you find a personal experience as well. That's really what experts are doing. No expert is a doctor who can prescribe intermittent fasting as a means to heal a body. That's just not something that can be done, but we can offer suggestions, like I said, personal experience, and we extract information from scientific data and help make it user friendly is the best way to share that. So what I want to share with you is how you can take the confusion and the complication out of intermittent fasting and have it be something that can work for you, right? So a lot of what we do as people, right, and from infancy on, is we do what we need to do to survive, basically, right? And we listen to advice, we listen to news research, we do our own personal research, and then we make informed decisions, right? And the trends change, and intermittent fasting happens to be a trend that's going on right now. If you're into following intermittent fasting, you know there's protocols, there's alternate day fasting, there's the new protein sparing modified fast, I believe is what it's called. So there's all these little nuances that have come up because, in theory, intermittent fasting or fasting in general is a very very simple complex, right? Or concept. It's a very simple concept. You fast for a certain amount of time in your day, meaning you don't do anything to interrupt your body chemistry or your hormones, and then you feast. And we hope that when we feast in our feasting window, we're choosing or have the ability to choose nutrient dense foods. That's the simplicity of intermittent fasting. Nothing complicated needs to be put into that. We feast for a certain amount of time, or we fast for a certain amount of time, and then we feast on the best possible nutrition that we have at our disposal. Here's where intermittent fasting becomes so confusing and can be so complicated. It's our mind and our emotional attachment to socializing, to food, conditioning from the past, striving to be perfect, striving to have a perfect body. So it's our thoughts about us as individuals that allows us to be confused and really can put in that layer of complication into intermittent fasting. So this is what I want us to think about here in this community. And I want to share with you why I have what I share as an expert with this community as well. So, you guys all know I teach a 20-hour intermittent fasting protocol. So, you fast for 20, you feast for 4. And the reason why I teach that is because that's my own personal experience and that's where my research landed me, right? I tried the 16-8, I tried the 18-6, I tried to do longer fasting. I tried to add things into my fast in the beginning, and it all just made my personal situation worse at the time. What I found was the same was true with other women who were in my same situation. What I love to teach and why I love to teach the 20-hour fast is because it gives you an opportunity to reset your life and benefit from what fasting has been designed to do for us. And that's reset our body and put our put our body and our mind in a state where food is no longer the factor, right? Food is no longer our issue because we're going to take a grand amount of time, 20 hours out of our day, and not let that thing come into play, the thing being food. And once you get the experience of what a 20-hour fast can do for you, and once you get the confidence of a 20-hour fast, you can freely ebb and flow your way through fasting protocols or just your day as a person and still benefit from what intermittent fasting has to offer you. What I don't do in what I teach and what I coach as a fasting expert is that there's a perfect way to do anything. There's no perfect way to fast. There's no perfect way to feast. There are some things that you can focus on more specifically if you have something in mind that you would like to target, right? For me, what I was targeting was my pre diabetic state and I wanted to reverse it. So the 20-hour fast for me at the time was perfect because that's exactly what it does. And so I want you to think about where you are today as a woman who is feeling confused or frustrated about intermittent fasting. And I want you to pay close attention to what it is you're doing that could be leading to the confusion. Are you an expert hopper? That's what I call a person who listens to one person and goes, yeah, that makes sense. Listens to another person, thinks, yes, that makes sense. Listens to another person. And then at the end of the day, you're not doing anything because all the information is conflicting and confusing, and so you don't know where to start. If you find that you're that person, what I highly recommend doing is shutting off anyone who doesn't serve what it is you're after, have the same type of lifestyle or experience as you, and someone who's demanding that you do it their way or the highway, because that is not going to serve you. The thing we also need to remember as women is that we are so much different than men, right? And unless a man has experienced what we're going through, especially as aging women, they only have paper to advise us off of, right? They only have paper. They don't have the personal experience. And so for me personally, a little selfishly, is I can't wait for all of these especially younger men who are fasting experts for their wives or maybe even their mothers or themselves to get to the place that we are in this aging process and see how their expert advice also changes because it changes as we go through this aging process. That's for sure. So, intermittent fasting does not have to be confusing. Fasting in general doesn't have to be confusing. You need to find your comfort place with fasting. What makes sense to you? If you're constantly hopping around because you're an expert hopper, you won't give your body the opportunity to settle into what could be the sweet spot for you. And everyone has a sweet spot with fasting. The other thing that I want to mention about intermittent fasting is that it's not something that you have to do for the rest of your life or else. Intermittent fasting, and the beauty of intermittent fasting is every single time you decide to practice a day of fasting, you will benefit from that day of fasting. Nothing has to be perfect. What I teach here and what I really want to enforce, especially with this conversation, is that perfection and fasting do not go together. Fasting is very imperfect in the fact that your body is always adjusting. So you can fast 20 hours today and feel a certain way, and then you can fast 20 hours tomorrow and feel a completely different way. So we're not striving for perfection. We're not striving for our body being consistent every single day. We know that that's just not reality. What we want to strive for is adapting a concept in our mind that makes sense for us mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. Is what I'm doing making sense? And can this be a thing that I can do for the rest of my life when I choose to jump in and out of it? Because I like to teach intermittent fasting as an ebb and flow lifestyle, right? You ebb and flow your way through your life and you adapt your intermittent fasting to your life. We should not have to leave our life to strive for a perfect fasting scenario. So, intermittent fasting does not need to be confusing. Intermittent fasting does not need to be complicated. You fast when you fast and you feast when you feast. And then you make very informed decisions based on you and the lifestyle that you want to lead. It does not have to be complicated and it does not have to be confusing. Like I said, if you are trying to fix something, if you're trying to reverse something, if you're trying to benefit from something very specifically, that's when you have to hone in on intermittent fasting in a different way. If you're just trying to benefit from all of the amazing things that intermittent fasting can provide for you, that's when you can ebb and flow. And that's when you can just let your life be what your life is, understand the benefits of fasting, understand how food affects you, and that's how you can live your life. We can spend our time and energy and money on other things that can bring us joy, right? We do not have to be following all these different things that come out when science comes out. The thing about science and intermittent fasting and these and expert advice that actually really does kind of blow my mind is that this is probably the only thing that I have really been involved with as a health and wellness coach, and I have been doing this for 30 years now. I started when I was 25. This is the first concept of taking care of myself and helping other women, coaching other women to take care of themselves as well. That was so complicated and so confusing and so riddled with science and so riddled with I don't know, fear and anxiety. Like I have coached women through diet programs, I have coached women to lose weight, I have coached women through exercise programs, and this is the only thing that I have ever participated in that has people so frantic and so worried. And I from my personal experience and as a mindset coach believe that it's because of our emotional connection to food, right? If we're asked to go without the thing that we have this strong emotional connection to for the majority of our day, it's a scary feeling. And so I want to make sure that we're connecting with that thought and that feeling and emotion also, so we don't miss out on this great opportunity of fasting. The concept of going 20 hours of a day without food is really frightening for a lot of people because food is the consistent thing that they've had in their life. And we've been misled a lot about food also. So make sure you're doing that work as well. Make sure you're doing that mindset work. Make sure you're making those emotional connections, because it's the emotional holdback. It's the emotional conditioning and the mindset that we have around food that's holding us back from the benefits that we want from fasting. Make sure we're making that connection as well. And that's why here we talk about the mindset more than we talk about the science, because scientific data only goes as far as our mind is going to allow it to go, right? So many women, and we just had it here in our intermittent fasting course that's going on in October, were hesitant to get to that 20-hour fast. And they felt like it was going to be horrible for them. And then they just did it and were like, oh my gosh, it was so easy. I don't know why I was holding myself back from that, right? So let's think about that. Let's do some work on our emotional connection to food. Let's do some work on our expert hopping, right? And make sure we're following the right people that are going to guide us in the right way. And then know that we do have our course that's going to help you with that as well. I apologize for the rocky start on today's broadcast. We had our gardeners here, so they had the blower in the backyard. Facebook didn't connect. That always makes me feel a little off balance. So I'm sorry that this started off a little awkward and a little clumsy, but I hope you got the information that you came for today. Okay, so let's see here today. Michelle, so happy to have you. I hope you've subscribed. Make sure you also hit that little bell notification, so when we do a live broadcast and it starts correctly, you'll be notified. Slim, hello from London. Michelle, you are live. Yes, good. Okay. Sue, hello. Audrey, hello. Dawn, hello. Eloise, good morning, girlfriend. I haven't seen you in forever. I hope you are doing well. Classy lady, awesome YouTube handle on that one. I love it. Dawn, graduate of the September 2021 course. Girlfriend, it's good to have you with us. You just graduated a month ago. I hope you're still thriving with your fasting long and feasting well. Brenda, hello. Michelle, thanks so much. Excited to be here. Michelle, we are super happy to have you here. We love new members here in our community. The stronger our community is, the stronger our message is going to be for other women who are going through the struggles of aging and menopause and perimenopause and all the things that go with that. So we are super happy to have you here. August 2020 graduate. I hope you're doing well. I've missed seeing you here in our community. Let's see. Bridget, hello. Anne, hello. Teresa, hello. For a reactive hypoglycemic, very scary. Okay. So I used to be a hypoglycemic person myself since I was a very, very young girl. So Teresa, let me give you some advice on that. Hypoglycemia is not a normal way to live your life, right? It's a sign and signal that something with what you're doing is not breaking down chemically and hormonally properly in your body. We are not supposed to have those episodes throughout our day. So what you have to do is you have to break up the dependency your body has to the food fix every few hours, right? And once you break that, then you can be free of the reactive hypoglycemic episodes. So I was a hypoglycemic young girl. I ended up transitioning from hypoglycemia to insulin resistance. From there, I went to being diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. Had I missed that annual physical, I'm sure I would have in my next physical been a full-blown diabetic. I was so close. So not everyone breaks down food in the same way, right? I wasn't overweight, or by society standards overweight. I had gained weight because of perimenopause. I was healthy. I was eating clean. I was exercising. I was doing all the things to prevent a diabetic state, and I ended up that way anyway. So the best thing you can do is train your body to not be dependent on food. And that's the beauty of intermittent fasting. So I would highly recommend getting on my email list and then making sure that you're keeping up with the classes that we have to offer. I teach you how to reverse all of those things while you're in class, and I make it less scary for you. So thanks for being here with us. We love having you. Michelle, thank you. Absolutely subscribed and can't wait. Yes, love it. Danny, you always make fasting easy. Thanks so much, girlfriend. I try. I don't know why And I'm hoping this will change because now there's so much information and so many personal stories and experiences, especially for us women. When I first started intermittent fasting, the advice I got was that it was the worst thing I could do for my hormones. And it was exactly the opposite of that. It was the best thing I could do for my hormones. It's the best thing I could do for my life. My life is so simple. I have so much energy. I'm not chasing food every couple of hours. My sleep is fantastic. Has been the best thing that I have implemented in my life, and now I do it without even thinking about it. So, and I know Danny, you're the same way. So we love it here. Nancy, 2019 grad, is so good to have you. Snuggles, hello. Bridget, good morning. Dawn, absolutely going strong. I absolutely love it. Michelle, you're welcome. Joyce from England, hello, girlfriend. So it's probably the evening for you there, I'm assuming. Michelle, super excited to be here. Hiya, ladies and everyone. Yeah, we have a very, very supportive community here, Michelle. So please settle in, make yourself at home. We're here to help you. I answer all kinds of questions here for you guys on our live coaching opportunities. So bring your questions and I will make sure that they get answered for you. Brenda, thank you for the information you provide. Brenda, you are super welcome. I will share anything that I grab a hold of for you guys. Classy lady, do you have to eat right after a workout? I still have a few hours before my feasting time. P.S. I'm amazed at how great I feel since intermittent fasting. Love it. Hot flashes are gone. Yeah, hot flashes go away for sure. Hot flashes are usually just a cause of a hormonal imbalance, and fasting will take those away. I don't personally eat after a workout. I work out in the morning and then I stay in my fasted state until the afternoon. So I usually break my fast around between 2 and 4. So I don't eat. I have coffee. Sometimes I put some fat in my coffee because fat doesn't break my fast as long as it's a pure fat. So if you don't feel like eating, test it out and see how that goes for you. If you feel like you're missing something by not eating after your workout, then test putting something in and see how that works for you. Every single body is different. And this goes back to the fact of making it super complicated and confusing for people is no one knows your body more than you do. So you have to test some things out and then figure out what's going to get you the result that you say that you really want for yourself. And that's the best advice. But I do not work out after. Teresa, I'm not sure. Oh, teach me this. Teach you what, girlfriend? Fasting, jump in my class. We start in November. I think November 6th is when we do it. Bridget, can you give me an example of a 20-hour fast? When do you eat? So a 20-hour fast is just taking 24 hours out of your day. You don't do anything to interrupt your body chemistry and hormones for 20 hours. And then you take a 4-hour window and that's when you feast. So whatever 20 hours works best for you, Bridget, is the 20 hours you will be fasting. It varies for everyone based on lifestyle, on socializing, family habits and traditions, work obligations. So I always recommend pulling out your calendar, looking at your day and seeing when the best opportunity for you to put in that 20-hour fast would be. For a lot of people, fasting through the night, so after dinner till about midday, is the best window. And then especially if you have a family, then you eat dinner with your family. So I teach all that in class also. Joyce, were you able to lose all your weight doing 20 hours and did you have any stalls? Yeah, of course I had stalls. Stalls are totally normal. Nothing is going to go, consistently because your body always is adjusting hormonally and chemically. So stalls are part of the process. And my weight is like this. I'm always picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping, picking up and dropping. So your weight will never be consistent either. Yes, I did lose all the weight with 20 hours of fasting. When I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic and started researching fasting, like I said, I made a lot of mistakes for my body chemistry because I was listening to the experts who didn't know me, right? So I was doing a bunch of things that they said were okay in a fast, and it just stalled my progress and made me really frustrated. And so once I got my head on straight and started experimenting for me as a woman, and again, remember when I started fasting, it was fear mongering for women. We weren't allowed to fast according to people. And 20 hours was definitely frowned upon, but 20 hours is the sweet spot for us. Once I stuck to that consistently, everything reversed for me. My diabetic state, I don't have hypoglycemia anymore. I'm not insulin resistant. I sleep well. Hormones are balanced as far as any of the hot flashes and menopausal things I wasn't happy with. So everything will balance itself out consistently over time. I say stay with 20 hours until you get the results that you're hoping for, and then you can ebb and flow for sure. So for one entire year, I fasted for 20 hours, and once as soon as I felt like everything was pretty solid with me, and a lot of it had to do with I had to deprogram my brain and uncondition a lot of my beliefs and emotional connection to food, and it took about a year for me to heal all that as well. And now I can just kind of do what I want. But yeah, it'll your weight will stall for sure. So just be ready for that. It always has, it always will. Snuggle, simple and easy. Finally allowing myself to be good with simple and easy in every aspect of my life. Yes, and it's amazing how food, right, or the perfectionism we try to live as a society really does make our life super over busy and super stressful, and we always feel like we're not measuring up. And so what I really want to enforce here in this community is you're measuring up. You're measuring up, right? You're doing enough, and just let your life flow and just make really good decisions based on how those decisions are making you feel. And I promise you, you'll get some great results for sure. Andrea, happy happy graduation. You're going to come up on your like 2-year graduation coming up in a month. So congratulations to you. Hopefully you're still thriving and you're fasting long and you're feasting well. Michelle, looking forward to it. So excited. Girlfriend, we're so excited to have you here. I can't even imagine it. Bridget, hello. Classy lady, thank you. That's the perfect answer I was looking for. Awesome. Snuggles, yes, perimenopausal symptoms are gone. Okay, perimenopause symptoms, menopause symptoms, postmenopausal symptoms, if you haven't corrected them through the process, it's kind of a 3-stage phase we go through. Even PMS, PCOS, all of those things that are going on with our reproductive hormones as we're going through hormonal changes are not the way it's supposed to be. So if you have someone in your life who's suffering greatly, or maybe you're suffering greatly from PMS symptoms, that means your body is sending you signals that something's going on that is not working at its best, right? It could be a food intolerance. It could be a lifestyle that you have that's not working for you. It could be some things in your environment, but you should not have anything that's going on with you hormonally that knocks you out of your everyday life. Um, my daughter is going through the same thing, and we're working on some nutritional stuff for her to kind of ease up some of the symptoms that she's going through. For me, I talk about this all the time. I just had a really bad episode about a week ago where I had a soy candle in my house and my hormones were a mess. I'm a post-menopausal woman, and a soy candle wreaked havoc on me. I gained a bunch of water weight. I was very moody. I felt a little depressed. Like it was awful. It knocked me off my feet, right? So those kind of things in your life can be enough to make perimenopause, menopause, even for me, it was postmenopausal, feel horrible, right? So we have to pay attention to all of those things. It's not just food, it's a lot of things that are going on in our life. Bridget, I want that in my life. Girlfriend, yes, you can have it. And more importantly, you deserve it. Every woman should have the opportunity to look and feel her best and do it in her most authentic way. Anything less than that, and I promise you, you're selling yourself short, and it could be so much better. And it's just simply taking food out of the equation for a little bit of time and then understanding the concept of what's going on in your body so that you can reap all of the amazing benefits. So I'm going to put on here my email list sign up. It's going to go to Facebook as well as, I just make sure I type that in right, as well as YouTube. It's also in the description box. I highly recommend jumping into class. It's 3 weeks. I give you the straight scoop. I give you an entire month to practice what I teach you in class so that you can have some confidence. You can gain your own personal experience with a win with intermittent fasting. Once you gain the win, your confidence with fasting goes through the roof, and you can't imagine ever living another way. So I always like to say, I don't preach, I teach, right? So I don't tell you what to do. I teach you the concepts. give you an opportunity to practice it, and then we make tweaks so that you can get the best result. So hopefully I'll see some of you new people in class with us in November. Imelda, I've been watching you for over a year. Thank you for your channel. I found you one day when I was typing to help my mom heal. She passed away during liver surgery that was supposed to save her life. Oh my gosh, girlfriend, I am so sorry to hear about your mom. That is just heartbreaking, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. Hopefully you'll take some of the advice and stay here in our community. We will wrap our arms around you, give you big old hugs. If you have any questions about anything, we're here to help you. So thank you for being a committed member of our community for over a year, and I'm excited to have you in the future. And taking care of ourselves is so important, especially today. Hopefully you're picking up some of these tips and tricks as well. Michelle, screenshot it. Let's see. Do your journal. Okay, I don't get what that was, but okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so I have to go. I love you guys. Don't let the confusion and the complicated concepts keep you from doing something that could really change your life forever. It's not supposed to be complicated. It's not supposed to be confusing. Pick a protocol, practice it, see how that is working for you. Stay away from people who are going to be preachy. Go hang out with the people who are teachy. There's a lot of them out there. You just got to sift your way through. You know, you're always welcome here in our community. Like I said, our next course starts on November the 6th, or the first Saturday of November. It will be our last course for 2021. So if you're one of those people who's been hanging out here for a year or more, I highly recommend jumping into class with us. In November, we're going to just change some things up for 2021. The class itself will be the same, but with the way we deliver, it's going to be a little different. So if you like a community environment, if you like having the support of a lot of women at one time, the November course is going to be the course that you want to jump into. And I'm super excited to have anyone who wants to join in with us. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'm sorry today was so flustered. I feel it. I feel flustered, I think, because of the start. So I apologize for that. I hope that you were served in some way today. I hope you took a little nugget from today and will carry it through with you, maybe for the rest of the week and the weekend. And if you have anything that you need from me, please put them in the comment section below. With this rebroadcast, I do go back and answer all the questions myself. So if you'd like to come back and ask a question or leave a comment, I always appreciate that. Make sure you like the video, share it with your friends. The more women that we have fasting, the better we will go through this aging process together, and the more girlfriends we're going to have to be able to hang out with and go on hikes and sit in a park and go do whatever it is we want to do, and not have to have food be the thing that we're chasing all the time. And that's really the life that we want to live as we're moving forward. So thanks again, you guys. I will see you later.